Old Time Tales present The New Fort at Chekagou, a Filmstrip Flashback. Enjoy the show. Medore liked this place where his family lived, called Chekagou, or Chicago. Here, where the river entered the lake, stood Fort Dearborn, just rebuilt. It was an exciting spot. The soldiers were his friends. They had told him how the Indians burned the fort in 1812, killing many people. Those not killed in 1812 had fled. It was 4 years before settlers began to return and build new homes. Now, in 1819, there were 12 cabins and about 60 people, besides the soldiers and, of course, the Indians. The Indians, now friendly, sold furs to Medore's father, Jean Beaubien, an agent for Mr. Astor's fur company. A friendly, part English Potawatomi chief called the Sauganash was often at the Beaubien's cabin. One spring morning, the sound of men singing sent Medore running to the riverbank. A big canoe, paddled by 12 men, came down the Chekagou River and stopped at the Beaubien cabin. The men joked and talked as they carried their winter's catch of furs into the cabin. There, Jean Beaubien sorted the furs and then prepared to pay the men. "Medore," said his father, "go to Mr. Kinsey's house and bring me 200 more silver dollars." Medore liked going to the Kinsey house, the finest in Chicago and the only one not burned in 1812. On his way, Medore passed the Kinsey's old bake house where his father taught school when he had time. "Come in, Medore," said Mrs. Kinsey as she handed him a cookie. "Mr. Kinsey is in the store." The store was an exciting place, full of trade goods, and best of all, a fine hunting knife Medore longed to have. Medore knew everyone in the store, except a stranger who was lounging in the doorway. Mr. Kinsey was talking to young Dr. Wolcott, who knew so much and could answer a boy's questions. Mr. Kinsey read the note from Jean Beaubien that Medore had brought. "So the voyagers are back," he said. He counted the money into a buckskin bag and gave it to Medore. "I'll walk with you as far as my house," said Dr. Wolcott. The man in the doorway moved aside to let them pass. Across the river they could see Fort Dearborn. How fine the flag looked, flying so proudly. "Why is this place called Chekagou?" asked Medore. Dr. Wolcott answered, "In Indian, that means big or strong." "Some people think it's because of the smell of wild onions growing here, but I like the other meaning better." "Why do trappers say there should be a canal running past Mud Lake?" Medore asked as they walked on. Dr. Wolcott drew a map in the damp sand with a stick. It would open a waterway for trade to the west. Joliet, a French explorer, thought of that 150 years ago. It is hard to haul boats and goods overland. "Here's my house, Medore," said Dr. Walcott. "Hurry home with that money." Medore walked on. Once he thought he heard someone in the bushes behind him, but he saw nothing when he looked. Soon, just ahead of him, Medore heard a splash and a child's cry for help. It was the Saganash's small son. Medore hid his bag of money under a bush, then dived into the river. He brought the drowning child safely back to shore. "Man pushed me," wailed the child as soon as he could talk. "Hush," said Medore. "You just fell in." At the cabin, Medore gave the money bag to his father and explained why the child was wet. "Medore," said his father sharply, "where is the money? This bag is full of rocks." Medore was stunned. "The bag was not out of my hands, except when I put it under a bush and dived in to save the child." "Was there anyone at Kinsey's you did not know?" asked his father. "Yes," said Medore. "A stranger saw me get the money, and once I thought I heard someone following me." "My son was pushed into the river so that you would put down the bag of money," said the Saganash. "You saved my son. I will get the money back. Indians have ways." The Saganash left the cabin. That night, as the trappers joked and sang before the fire, the Saganash entered the room. "Here's the money. Laughing Fox caught the thief trying to steal his canoe and Mr. Kinsey's furs." "It was the stranger you saw at Kinsey's. We took him to the fort. He will not come back." "Medore," added the Saganash, "Mr. Kinsey says you admire this knife. It is yours. You saved my son." Jean Beaubien laughed and began to play his fiddle. "The Chekagou, good place, eh, Medore?" The end. Hey folks, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Cheers!